RW Wrestling Podcast's old guy is here, and he has another random mass daily match review. And this is a good one, guys. This is a good one. We got Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy on the main event of Monday Night Raw on July 1st, 2002 in Manchester, New Hampshire. And it is a ladder match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. So introducing first, we get Dead Man Walking. And coming to the ring on his motorcycle is the WWE Undisputed Champion, Big Evil, the Undertaker. And his opponent, coming to the ring to one of my favorite themes of all time, is the one and only Jeff Hardy. All right, so the week prior, Jeff Hardy had a singles match with the Undertaker and lost. Hardy then challenged Undertaker for his Undisputed Championship in a match of his choosing, and Jeff Hardy chose the ladder match. So that match, and that's the match we have today. And so while Jeff Hardy is having his introduction, he decides that he wants to walk up to Undertaker's motorcycle and have a seat in the rings. And Big Evil's having none of it. He says, he's in the ring and he says, "Look at this motherfucker." And he comes down to the floor to start whooping Jeff Hardy's ass. But Jeff Hardy darts back in the ring and then runs the ropes and drop kicks a ladder onto Undertaker. Jeff Hardy hits Undertaker with a plancha over the top rope to Taker, and the bell rings, and then here we go. All right. So Hardy grabs a chair and nails Undertaker in the head. Wham! Hardy grabs that same ladder and throws it at Undertaker, but Undertaker catches it and tries to ram Hardy with the ladder. Hardy dodges. Undertaker runs right into the apron with the ladder and carrying the ladder. So he takes the impact from the ladder and the apron at the same time. Undertaker is able to respond with a clothesline to Jeff Hardy. Taker's trying to shrug off the chair shot that he took while Jeff Hardy's down on the floor. And this is not where Jeff Hardy wants to be. You don't want to be at Undertaker's feet with the Undertaker looking down at you with that look in his eye. Hardy takes a big soup bone from Undertaker and drops to the floor. We still haven't gotten in the ring yet since the bell rang, but hey, there's no countouts here, no disqualifications, so you guys do what you got to do. Taker slams Hardy's head into a barricade and follows up with a forearm to Hardy's head. He's definitely being methodical here. He is measuring every single strike. He wants every shot that means something. Undertaker hits Hardy with an MMA-style knee strike to Hardy's midsection. Undertaker scoops up Hardy on his shoulder. No arms needed here. Taker attempts to lawn dart Hardy onto the ladder that is leaning against the apron, but Hardy escapes and pushes Taker into the ladder, and Undertaker falls to the floor. Hardy places that ladder on top of the prone Undertaker and climbs the ring stairs and hits a leg drop to the ladder onto Undertaker. Wham! And Hardy sells it like he broke his leg. Good stuff here. And, I mean, Hardy's been known to sacrifice his body for the cause, so case in point. Hardy's trying to bring the ladder into the ring, but Undertaker grabs a bit of the ladder that was hanging off the ring apron and pulls it down, smashing Hardy right in the face with the other end in the process. And Hardy sells in the ring. And then Undertaker kicks the same ladder into Hardy's midsection, and now Hardy's hurt, and now he's in trouble because Taker's back in the ring. Taker promised he would not only win the match, but he would make sure Hardy wouldn't be able to walk out of the arena. And right now, Undertaker is well on his way to deliver on that promise. Undertaker's facials are great right here. Like he's snarling at Hardy. He has his eyes are just wide. It's like he can't believe, one, Hardy put him in this match to begin with. Two, Hardy touched his bike. Nobody touches Big Evil's motorcycle. And three, he put his hands on Undertaker in the first place, and Undertaker wants to kill Jeff Hardy. He wants to destroy him. So Undertaker picks up the ladder and nails Jeff Hardy in the head with it. Wham! And so Hardy bumps over the top rope and into the commentator's table. Hardy is out on the floor. He's flat on his back. So Undertaker sets up a ladder, and begins to climb. And I'm thinking, is this match already over? No way it could be over. And then right when I said that, Taker looks down at Jeff Hardy flat on his back on the outside. And okay, nope, this match ain't over yet. Undertaker sees Hardy motionless on the floor and decides he wants to administer more punishment. Taker wants to beat this punk kid, this kid who dared try to stand up to him, and he's going to make him pay. So Undertaker leaves the ring and picks up Jeff Hardy and slams him on the commentator's table, and follows up by slamming Jeff Hardy's head on the announce table. Undertaker isn't concerned with his title at the moment. He just wants to beat Hardy to a bloody pulp. And you can see it in his eyes, his mannerisms. I mean, you can tell Undertaker's having fun with this. Undertaker throws Hardy into the timekeeper's table. Undertaker grabs a chair and jams that chair into Hardy's midsection. Undertaker throws Hardy back in the ring. And back in the ring, Taker is just standing tall over the fallen body of Jeff Hardy. It could be a foregone conclusion that Hardy won't even get one more offensive move in this match. Undertaker continues to punish Jeff Hardy with kicks. Undertaker slams Hardy's head onto the ladder, followed by a kick to Jeff Hardy's head. Jeff Hardy sells to the ropes, and he tries to fight back with some elbows. But wait a minute! Oh, here we go! Hardy with a flurry of punches to Taker. Crowd erupts. More and more punches from Hardy. Hardy's fighting back, but Taker! One punch from Taker just cuts Hardy off at the pass. Hardy falls to the mat. Wind is out of the sails of Jeff Hardy and the crowd. Wow, that crowd popped for Jeff Hardy there. It just shows how over Hardy was becoming. Jeff Hardy has crawled inside that open ladder, which is being propped open by the middle rope. So I have to explain this. Okay, so the ladder isn't open, but it's being propped open by the middle rope. So Hardy is able to crawl inside of it. And obviously Hardy has no clue where he's at, or he wouldn't be crawling under the ladder in the first place. He's just out. One punch from Undertaker just rattled his brain. So while Hardy is sitting in this ladder, which is also partially on the ring apron, Undertaker has climbed down to the floor and is just teeing off on Jeff Hardy's head with punches. He wants to hurt this kid. Title's not important yet. So Undertaker then climbs up to the apron and hits that apron leg drop that he normally does, but he does it through the ladder to Jeff Hardy. Wham! I love it when Undertaker does this move. I know that Taker can't do it much when he got older, but when he did, it always looked devastating. And speaking of devastation, that's what Undertaker is providing for Jeff Hardy right now. Undertaker props up Hardy in a corner. And Hardy needs the ropes just to stay on his feet, much less even try to mount any kind of offense here. Taker's crushing this kid. So Taker runs at Hardy and nails Hardy with a corner clothesline. Taker picks up the ladder and leads it into another corner. Undertaker proceeds to take Jeff Hardy and throw him into the ladder. Taker charges at Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy dodges. Undertaker runs into the ladder and falls flat in his back. So this is the opening Jeff Hardy needs, but can he capitalize? The crowd is on his side. The crowd wants Hardy to get back in this match so bad, but he can't get up. He is so beat up. He can't do anything. He can't capitalize. Undertaker's back on Jeff Hardy. Taker whips Hardy into a corner, but Jeff Hardy responds with a whisper in the winds to Undertaker. Nice looking move by Hardy. Crowd pops for Undertaker. Crowd pops for Hardy while Taker sells to the ropes. Hardy's trying to position the ladder on the ropes like it was before, was propped open by the middle rope, but he takes too much time and he isn't paying attention to Taker, who puts a big boot to Jeff Hardy's head, and Jeff Hardy bumps to the floor. Undertaker will eventually join him, Undertaker joins him on the floor. Undertaker grabs Jeff Hardy and goes for a powerbomb, and while saying "It's over," but then takes a low blow from Jeff Hardy, and the crowd pops. Taker's down on the floor while Jeff Hardy gets back in the ring. Jeff Hardy will run the ropes and uses the ladder to hit the Undertaker with a springboard 360 senton to Undertaker on the floor. Both men are down. Crowd pops for Jeff Hardy. Awesome spot. Great spot for Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy takes the ladder from the ring and throws it at Undertaker's face. Undertaker again drops to the floor. Jeff Hardy reaches under the ring and pulls out this freaking mega ladder out from under the ring. Jeff Hardy puts the ladder in the ring and sets it up. This ladder is tall enough to almost touch the belt that's hanging from the ceiling. So pretty much all you got to do is get on the ladder and get up there. You don't have to climb all the way to the top. So After Hardy sets the ladder up, he starts to climb the ladder, rung by damn rung. He's so beat up, he can't move quick enough because Undertaker just gets in the ring and stops his descent with a clubbing forearm to Hardy's back. Taker grabs Hardy from the ladder and attempts the last ride, but Hardy blocks and hits Undertaker with a hurricanrana. Taker's out on the floor. Hardy's by himself in the ring. The crowd is on its feet. They're clapping for Jeff Hardy. Can he climb to get to the title? But no. Undertaker cuts off Jeff Hardy again with a chair shot to the back. Hardy was inches away. Inches. Undertaker pulls Jeff Hardy off the ladder and jams the chair into Jeff Hardy's midsection a couple times, and then sets the chair on the mat. Undertaker attempts a powerbomb on the chair, but Jeff Hardy fights back with some rights. Undertaker has to reset the powerbomb, and when he does, Hardy is able to grab the chair and wham! Nails Undertaker in the face with the chair. Taker drops like a bad habit. The crowd erupts as Hardy jumps on the ladder as quickly as he can and starts to climb. Can Jeff Hardy make history? He wants the Undisputed Championship. He's climbing the ladder rung by rung. Hardy is shutting out the pain. Crowd is going nuts. But Taker again cuts off Jeff Hardy with 2 chair shots, and Hardy cannot win the match yet. But it's not like Taker's 100%. Taker drops the chair, and Taker goes to the other side of the ladder and starts to climb while Jeff Hardy is reaching up to grab the title. Hardy has his hand on the belt, but Taker goozles Jeff Hardy and delivers the kill shot. Taker chokeslams Jeff Hardy from the top of the ladder. Jeff Hardy is down. He is not moving. Undertaker's on top of the ladder. Taker reaches up, and at 13 minutes, 52 seconds, Undertaker takes down the title to win his first ladder match and keep his Undisputed Championship. Oh, you got to feel for Jeff Hardy. He was there. Undertaker doesn't care. He's got the belt. He staggers out of the ring while Hardy sells his beat down in the ring. Undertaker climbs on his bike and then looks back to see Jeff Hardy starting to stand up. And then suddenly Undertaker remembers he has a second promise to keep. You know what that second promise was? To make sure that Jeff Hardy does not leave this arena standing on his feet and able to walk. So Undertaker gets back in the ring and decimates Jeff Hardy with a last ride powerbomb. Wham! Undertaker feels that is satisfactory and leaves the ring while Jeff Hardy is just a mess in the ring. Undertaker gets on his bike and hauls ass to the ring entrance, but we hear this as Taker gets to the top of the ring apron.
He led the WWE crowd. Wait a minute. Hey! Oh, tell me he's not talking. You haven't broke me, Taker. You haven't broke me. I'm still standing. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God, damn. Jeff Hardy will not stay down. Undertaker can't believe the audacity of this motherfucking punk. So Taker drops the title, gets off his belt, walks down to the ring, and the look in Taker's eye is pretty much says it all. Undertaker's going to destroy Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy will not be able to walk out of the ring on his own. And goddamn, Taker's facials are so good here. His eyes are bulging. He has this look like, this motherfucker keeps talking. He keeps getting up. I'm going to end this guy. So Undertaker gets in the ring, and he props up Jeff Hardy on the ropes, and he rears back to deliver a friggin' knockout punch, but he hesitates. Undertaker just is looking at Jeff Hardy. Hardy's just looking up at Taker. And Undertaker realizes that this punk kid has a set of brass balls the size of the goddamn earth. So Undertaker puts his arms down, pats Jeff Hardy on the head a couple times, and raises up Hardy's arm. Crowd pops. Hardy has earned Undertaker's respect, and the Undertaker nods at Jeff Hardy and leaves the ring. Hardy's music starts to play as we cut to black. So Taker and Jeff Hardy in a ladder match was fantastic. It was Undertaker's first ladder match. I don't know if I mentioned that during the play-by-play or the introduction or not, but hell of a match. These guys both did their parts perfectly. Taker was the brute force. He wanted to kill Jeff Hardy. He wanted to destroy him. And Jeff Hardy was the gutsy the gutsy baby face trying to overcome the size disadvantage, but he was able to put himself in some sort of position to where he could win. So it made this match believable that Jeff Hardy could pull out a win, and these guys pulled out all the stops. So, did we have selling in this match? Check. Did we have a story? Check. Hot crowd? Oh, check. Great sequences and spots? Absolutely. That's a check. Undertaker being a badass? Absolute check. Hardy being the never say die babyface? Check. JR and Lawler being great at what they were doing throughout the match, and they made some great quotes? Check. The only reason I couldn't make this match a 10 is because of some timing issues, and like I said, I got a nitpick because I really want to start some discussions here. I'm just trying to be fair and honest, and I still gave it a 9. Like I said, it's still fantastic. This match could have been on a pay-per-view at some point, but this is one of those hidden gems you find on TV that maybe no one thought would ever happen. Those hidden gems just come out of nowhere sometimes, and this is one of them. I remember watching this match when it happened, and I remember Jeff Hardy wanting to win because he just made me want to see him beat the Undertaker. He made me want him to win, much like with the Will Ospreay match I had last month. After watching him sell and just do it well, I wanted Ospreay to win. I don't care if he was facing. Who's my favorite wrestler nowadays? What if Adam Cole was a babyface, or if Dana Bryan was up against him? Just pick your favorite wrestler, and just imagine watching Ospreay sell. You would be convinced that you want Ospreay to beat your favorite wrestler based on that, and Hardy was doing that in this match today. It didn't matter that he won because this was his coming out party. He got over in the loss, and that's the way. That's just the way guys like Undertaker work. That's how good Undertaker is. He makes me want to hate him so much that I like whoever his opponent is. And because I did, like I said, I wanted Hardy to win this match. I'm not sure nowadays if what Undertaker could do if he came out to the ring right now to make me want to hate him, But back in 2002, he was making it an art form. He'd been doing it a number of times throughout his career to make you just hate him. And this is a different version of Undertaker. This is Big Evil Undertaker. This is Undertaker on a motorcycle version of the Undertaker. It's not Dead Man Undertaker. And he's able to have more of his personality instead of being all mystical and trying to scare you. Now he just wants to kick your ass, and it was so effective. And as a result, his ability to use his role as a heel to get Jeff Hardy over as a babyface is nothing short of genius, and he has the utmost expertise in that regard. So kudos to Undertaker. I mean, he's not wrestling anymore, and here in our RW podcast, we did a tribute to Undertaker. So I suggest go watch that review, a few matches, a couple pay-per-views, and then we just give our opinions on the Undertaker and how we felt about him. This may be somewhat of an extension of it. So Jeff Hardy joins the long list of men that Undertaker has put over to elevate their status in the WWE. So I got a list of other wrestlers that had to go through Undertaker at some point to either cement their status or to create a status. Okay. I also have a third category, and that's the tried and died list. So I'm gonna start with that one. So this is the tried and died list of wrestlers who Undertaker had to wrestle, and he put over at some point to see if he could elevate their status in the WWF from where it was at that current point. So the first one is Great Khali. Great Khali made his debut on an episode of SmackDown and assaulted The Undertaker after he had a match with Mark Henry. Eventually, Khali and Taker would get into a match together at Judgment Day, and Taker would put Khali over. They were supposed to have a Punjabi fight later that year, but Great Khali was medically uncleared to wrestle, so that was pretty much a lame duck match. But they would eventually have a last man standing match in Survivor Series where Undertaker would win that match. But unfortunately, we know Great Khali didn't amount to much. The things off the top of my head that I remember about him was that he was in a Royal Rumble and he got eliminated because he was making out with Beth Phoenix. Remember that? And honestly, a funny moment. And he got into the comedy stuff towards the end of his run. That he was, I think he played a little flute that got Santino Marella to get his Cobra, flipping around and everything like that. It's kind of pathetic for a guy that big, but hey, look, I mean, he had a run. I'm not dismissing Great Khali as a performer. Just as I never would have taken him as a main event talent ever. Obviously, you watch any of his matches and you can see why. He just moves so slow. It's like he's walking in quicksand. Another guy who Taker put over was Kozlov. There was an episode of SmackDown a few weeks before WrestleMania 25. Before I get into what happened here, I don't know if Kozlov was still undefeated at this point. He did have an undefeated streak. He may have lost it, but by the time this happened, I'm not sure. But anyway, so heading into WrestleMania 25, Kozlov was supposedly slated to face Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. And a few weeks before WrestleMania 25, Kozlov beat Undertaker in the middle of the ring, clean. It's amazing. I'm glad that Kozlov didn't get the slot for Undertaker at WrestleMania 25 because we all know how Michaels and Undertaker did in that match, right? Everybody remembers that one. In fact, Kozlov wasn't even on WrestleMania 25 card. It's weird how it turns out. But again, Kozlov didn't amount to much because he didn't have any charisma. He was kind of clumsy and oafy in the ring. He was one-dimensional, and it shows when he has literally zero personality. He tried to be, again, Santino was his partner, and they did comedy skits, and they just didn't come across at all. Okay, third wrestler, Giant Gonzalez, WrestleMania 9, chloroform. Do I need to say any more? I'm not going to say any more because that's pathetic. Another guy that Taker had to get over, and it just didn't work. Okay, fourth guy. Might be shocked by this. Let me know in the comments if you're shocked by the fact I think Roman Reigns is on this list. He beat Undertaker in a no-holds-barred match at WrestleMania 33. Now, Reigns was already over at this point. He'd already had world titles. He'd already been main eventing WrestleManias. In fact, I think it was like his fourth in a row or something like that. So did this match cement Roman Reigns as a top guy? I guess maybe it depends on who you ask. But at the same time, Roman Reigns was no more over than he already was. So I guess you could say, I'm sorry. And so if Roman Reigns had come out the next night on Raw when he said, "This is my yard," this is my yard now, and he did that mic drop and just walked off, was great stuff. If he had turned heel then, he wouldn't be on this list because Roman Reigns would have been elevated to the main event guy that everybody wants to beat, like he is now. But instead, WWF tried to use The Undertaker to give Roman Reigns the rub, and it didn't work at all. Reigns did the same shit for like another, 2 years or so. It was the same old shit. Comes in the ring, boos him, everybody boos him out of the building. I mean, they say a reaction is better than nothing, so at least there's that. But like, Roman Reigns was the top guy. Yeah, only in really just the higher office thought so, but no one ever gave him any credit. I enjoyed Roman Reigns as a wrestler throughout that entire time. And now I like him even more that he finally turned heel and embraced that dark side. That he looks like a heel. So, good. I'm glad he finally did it. But did this match with Taker help Roman Reigns? Not in the slightest. Okay, so now we're gonna list. So this is the wrestlers that Undertaker helped to create their status, to elevate their status. First guy is the guy we just discussed. It was Jeff Hardy in the ladder match that we just discussed. Obviously, we know how Jeff Hardy fared over the long run. Another guy was Randy Orton. There was a hell of a year in 2005 where Orton faced Undertaker at WrestleMania, and Orton was doing his Legend Killer bit then, and but he was unable to beat Taker at WrestleMania that year. But he got his win back at SummerSlam of 2005, and then the casket match. Here at RW Podcast reviewed that pay-per-view we reviewed, was it the pay-per-view or the match? I forget. Either way, it was featured on the Undertaker special. The Undertaker tribute, where Undertaker and Orton had a casket match, and Orton's dad, Bob Orton, was involved. And they burned the casket at the end, and Undertaker burned away or whatever. So Orton's star flew through the roof at that point because he had almost a year-long run against Undertaker. Next guy, Brock Lesnar. Now, this isn't the Brock Lesnar. Now, this isn't the moment you think I'm going to talk about. This is back in 2002. This is later in the year after this ladder match. Undertaker dropped the Undisputed title to Rock, who in turn dropped it to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. This is the Hell in a Cell that happened right after SummerSlam. I forget the pay-per-view. I meant to write it down, but I didn't. I think it was either... it might have been Survivor Series. Maybe someone let me know in the comments what it was. But because I didn't see Brock Lesnar as a main event guy at that point. I still wasn't sold on him being a top guy. I felt he was somebody who was being hot shot to the top because of his look and everything. But after that match, when Brock Lesnar was put down, when Undertaker was put down by Brock Lesnar, and Undertaker's just looking up at Brock Lesnar like, this guy whooped my ass. Looking up like with the bulgy eyes and the unbelievable, that incredulous look on his face. Like, I just got beat by this young kid. Who is this kid? He's the next big thing. Yes, he is. And he proved to me that night, said Undertaker, by the look on his face. And of course, that pay-per-view ends with Brock Lesnar on top of the cage, posing with the belt and everything. It was really cool. That's when I got sold on Brock Lesnar. So that's why he made this list. And then the fourth guy is Kane. Kane instantly got a rub from Taker immediately out of the gate at WrestleMania 14. It started back the previous year at Hell in a Cell, the first one in '97. And Kane eventually coerced his brother Undertaker, or half brother I should say, to a match at WrestleMania 14. And it took 3 or 4 tombstones to put away Kane, and that put Kane on the map for good. And he never really left the main event spot per se. It was always an attraction. When he comes in the ring, business picked up, to quote JR. No one ever forgot about Kane, and Kane had a great career. Might not have happened if somebody else had to put over Kane at the beginning, but it turned out it was Undertaker, and the results speak for themselves. Okay, so here's the cemented status. These are guys who were already main event level guys, and they used or went through Undertaker to cement their status as really top guys. I'm sorry, they were over already, but they used the Undertaker to cement their status as main event guys. This is the Undertaker legitimized their current run that they were, that they were in. So the first guy, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin was over, mega over, right? But still, his match with he beat Undertaker clean in the ring at SummerSlam '98 with a Stone Cold Stunner. And that just really helped Austin legitimize his run. You have to go through Undertaker if you want to tell everybody that you're one of the best. And Stone Cold Steve Austin had to do it, and he did it in '98. Another cemented guy, Brock Lesnar. Again, now this is the one you probably were thinking about before. This is WrestleMania 30, when Brock Lesnar became the legend that he is now, the mythical guy, the guy who beat Undertaker's undefeated streak. He is the one in 21-1. He put down Undertaker for a 3 count, broke the streak. Now he's immortal. Brock Lesnar will always be a main event guy because of that match and that win. And there's issues with Brock Lesnar, but that's not the point here. Another guy is Batista. What a year he had with Undertaker in 2007. It started at WrestleMania 23. They wrestled for the World Heavyweight title when Undertaker won his very first one. He beat Batista. I think it was after he won the Rumble. Then they had a match at Backlash, last man standing. And then a cage match on a SmackDown of all places. They had a cage match. And then SummerSlam had a Hell in a Cell, all in 2007. That made Batista a made man. There was never a time after that where Batista was not somewhere around the title picture. And Undertaker helped him out with that whole year, 2007. It's great for Batista because he wrestled Undertaker for about 70% of it. And the last guy, Edge. Holy crap. So Edge and Undertaker have a really strong history here. Edge cashed in on Undertaker Money in the Bank, won the title. And then he helped Batista retain his title at that Survivor Series Hell in a Cell I mentioned back in 2007. Then at WrestleMania 24, Undertaker and Edge wrestled for the World Heavyweight Championship, which Undertaker won. Then at One Night Stand, they had a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship that Edge won. And then at Survivor Series 08, they wrestled in a Hell in a Cell, which Undertaker won. Holy crap. Was Edge a made man before then? Maybe. He was definitely made man after that year. So that's definitely a strong list of a bunch of guys who had to go through Undertaker to cement their status or to create their status. And we had the guys who tried and died, so kind of put them on the back burner, but those are hella lists right there. The Taker is responsible for either creating or helping them get on their way in their career. And again, kudos to the Undertaker. Mark Calloway, man, take your last ride like a champ. You're everybody's hero. And rest in peace. Retire in peace. And I'm going to cut this one off. And I'll be back tomorrow with another Random Ass Daily Match Review. See ya.